What up, Naughty Steppers? It's Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel. And it's time to give some love to a few musicians who I think deserve way more of it. 5 producers whose talent, proficiency and skill in the bass game warrants much more credit than they have gotten and are currently getting. All fantastic musicians, underrated and criminally so in my opinion, so just gonna spend some time here singing their praises. Pushing boundaries with their art and doing so across multiple years and projects. Gonna tell you why I love these particular musicians and then share some of my favourite tracks of theirs so you can get into them hopefully as well. Just before I get started, gonna link part 1 right here, which you can watch if you want, but honestly it was when I was just starting out with this channel and the quality is considerably less, so brace yourself. But kicking off this video, we have one of the few producers keeping brostep alive, and that's Javis. Mad energy to his music, very much a staple of the brostep genre, dubstep in its most electric form. Variety in his production as well, almost always dubstep, but the tempos and moods vary across his discography. High quality production, crisp, defined, well cut, sharply put together. Been listening to his tracks for a fair few years now, from Valediction to Bandwagon, I'm on Fire, the Bloodbath EP and beyond. And more recently his track for Disciple Flight, which was for me the standout on the Mini Lad compilation. A big player in the hyper dubstep scene for a while now, and I think he deserves much more credit for that. And in terms of some great tracks from him to get you started, if you're not too familiar with his music, then I would look at Bandwagon, Bloodbath, Hyper Brostep and Zip It with Wooly. Next up we have probably my favourite house artist at the moment, and that's the wondrous Dusty Cloud. Someone very much respected in house music, but who I feel definitely deserves more recognition in bass music generally. Earthy, underground house music with a seriously dark and groovy feel to it really lures you in. Not just the feel of it, but the ideas are very good. Everything coheres in his songs really well. Music that leaves a mark on you, hypnotic almost, and it would be great for others outside of house appreciation to become aware of that. Got an EP coming out soon and I am very excited for that. Here's hoping it's a continuation of his great work so far. And in terms of recommendations for Dusty Cloud, then I would look at Sometimes, Those Nights and Bold. Following on from there, we have someone whose quirky, musical dubstep I have enjoyed for a fair few years now, and that's The Brig. Very infectious, bubbly, cartoony music that I fell in love with straight away. Starting with Intergalactic Pirate, then moving on to his Bring It On EP, Vanilla Sky EP and so on. Coined by the man himself as Pirate Step, and I think that theme of voyaging and journeying works really well with his style. Not to say he doesn't dabble in different stuff, he's tried out quicker tempos before and recently gone down much darker avenues. Many strings to his bow, but predominantly a lot of fun and extremely clever, and I think very unique in dubstep on many levels. And in terms of recommendations with The Brig, then I would look at Intergalactic Pirate, Never Settle Down, Bring It On, and his Crystallized remix from last year, which was one of my favourites from the whole of 2018. Penultimately, we have one of the most consistent in the mid-tempo genre at the moment, and that's Social Kid. Someone who gets the idea and mood pretty much spot on in every track he puts out. Operating outside of mid-tempo as well, his track Power Wave is up there with my favourite synthwave songs ever. Very good melodies, amazing depth to his sound, really moody atmospheres created at all times, and attention to detail and care of sound that I wouldn't say is seen in a lot of mid-tempo music at the moment. Just again, one of those that I feel deserves much more recognition outside of his main field, so get listening. And in terms of recommendations for Social Kid, then I would look at Transmission, Power Wave and Ultima with Zabo. And finally, I'm going to talk about another one of the most seriously underrated producers in dubstep, and that's Trilogy. Up there with the most creative musicians in the genre, and gets nowhere near enough credit for it, in my opinion. Not only with the ideas, but with the sounds used as well, so out there compared to almost every other producer in dubstep. Very colourful, imaginative, full of flavour, personality, character, different emotions. Started off liking the odd track from EPs and also the odd remix, but his ultimate EP from last year really was one of the best of 2018. So inventive. Just happy we have someone bringing dubstep to life in this way. Still heavy but no boundaries with the extra stuff. Absolutely love his style. And in terms of recommendations for Trilogy, then I would look at Destruction, OMG and Bounce. And so that is that, guys, for this video. 5 hugely underrated bass producers part 2. Thank you very much, and as always, for tuning in. Are you guys fans of these producers? Do you also think they are underrated? Who are some other producers who you think are criminally underrated? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hitting the notification bell along the way. Nawtystep is all about coverage of bass music across a wide variety of genres, from EP and album reviews to top 5s and top 10s, rave footage, opinion pieces and more. So again, if that's something that interests you, then consider subscribing. For some examples of those other kinds of video on the channel, check out the link next to my head somewhere. If you're yet to follow Nawtystep across social media, links to all of those are in the description box down below. And lastly, if it's naughty, then you know, guys, so be sure as always to keep it naughty and stay safe. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace out.